Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Good to see you guys again. We can't actually see you, but you can see us.
I didn't think of that, but yeah. Hi.
We've been gone for a while, so we're still alive.
Yes, here we are.
You should listen if you remember. We literally had to buy our name back. We lost it.
It's been so long that it is me. I just have brown hair now. I'm a brunette.
Yeah, mine's the same. I think so.
It is.
Yeah, but we've been gone for a while. We've just been surviving like the rest of the world, and we just feel like maybe we might have a lot to say now.
Maybe.
So we're back to do that.
Lots to say. Hopefully you will listen.
Yeah, how are you guys doing? 2025, am I right? Pretty interesting year so far.
I want to say, are we great yet? But I know the answer.
No, we're not doing great. Yeah, so we're not, this sucks. Why are we doing a podcast? Life sucks so much.
Downers.
We're still here, but we, last year was a rough year. To end the year, we had, what you told me before, 11 named hurricanes here in Florida. Why do you move there? Because it doesn't get cold in February, man. Like, my face doesn't hurt at the gas pump anymore. Yeah, Florida has its things, and that is one of its things, isn't it?
It is. Although I will say where you're from, I didn't know you got all the things. You guys, hurricanes,
potentially, yes,
blizzards. So when people make fun of Florida, I'm kind of like, I don't know, you guys living dangerously up there weather-wise too.
I mean, yeah, New England's pretty crazy. The year I bought my first house in 2012, I was there for like 2 months and we got a freaking hurricane. It actually killed a bunch of people in New Jersey. It flooded and it knocked out power in my neighborhood for 9 days.
Yeah.
That was my first, few months of home ownership.
Good times.
Wow. I remember having Thanksgiving on like a hot plate. We had just macaroni with sauce.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Because everybody we knew
Yeah.
was out of power. So, it was insane. It could be pretty insane up there. A lot of people remember the blizzard 78, man, survived it. It was pretty nuts. Back then you didn't miss school very much. And we were out of school for a week.
Yeah. I actually don't know how long kids were out here. Again, there were 11 hurricanes.
Not very long, if I remember. I remember being surprised by the amount of days that they were out. We had Milton. I always get this one.
And Debbie directly.
Debbie was actually worse, wasn't it? Debbie's the one that hit the Carolinas.
Rain.
The one that decimated the Carolinas was Debbie. That one was like a direct hit for them. And even though the winds were not crazy, it was far out to sea for us, but we got like the outer edge. And we got, tornado warnings and rain and stuff. The Carolinas got absolutely killed by that one. And then, of course, Milton hit us directly. Literally, the eye went over our house. I'll never forget it. 100-mile-an-hour winds outside. Took videos of it. Just to be in that kind of wind is just incredible.
Yes.
And then we had power. We never lost power. It flickered.
Wild.
It flickered.
We kept waiting. We had anticipated it, and so we were just like, "It's gonna happen." Don't get comfortable. It's gonna happen. And never did.
Me and Mike were playing on. We were watching movies. We had no cable, but we were watching. We had power, which to me, being from New England, it's just not something we're used to. We just lose power so easy. So Florida really has the power grid figured out. I don't know how they do it. Obviously stuff must be mostly underground. But maybe they just have it done in a way where they sub out everything so that maybe there's, I don't know, I'm not an electrician.
Plug us in somewhere
but they do something very special here that New England has not figured out. And New England's been around a long time. So they need to figure it out. Because actually a lot of the electricians that came here were from the Northeast.
Yeah. Yes, we had lots of damage here, even in our neighborhood. We had an area close by where they took all the debris that they cleaned up from other areas and made like the biggest brush pile I've ever seen in my life.
I've never seen anything.
I still don't know where they took it all. Where did it go?
They shredded it down.
Oh, and just made mulch.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually almost worked for a company that was doing that. Remember?
Oh, right.
I almost did it. It was just the crazy hours. They wanted you to literally work 7 days a week, 12-hour days.
A lot of damage, yeah. So
and you basically just taking these special trucks they have that are like imagine like a garbage truck, but it's got a really huge bed on the back, and then it's designed to take trees and shred them down and then turn it into like mulch, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
An entire field. Imagine a field like 3 to 4 football fields long, filled with
full of
It was
debris.
insane.
So
I'll never forget it. Never.
yeah, we really, we're sorry we haven't been around. Hopefully you guys are still following us. We lost our name for a little while even because we didn't, use it or purchase it again. So we have now, but we're good.
Yeah, it's like the rest of Americans. We're just trying to survive. We're just like all of you guys. I'm sure some of you can relate to this. Even if you're not from Florida, it's been the last few years have been really tough. So just trying to stay alive. And then we ran into a health scare with this beauty over here.
Yeah.
It was a lot. She's okay, of course, cutting to the chase, but you tell that story.
Okay. October of 2024, I had a pain for a couple of months on the right side and just kind of thought, okay, I'm going to have my yearly physical and they'll figure out what it is. I had a doctor tell me they thought maybe it was my gallbladder. Another one, they did a physical exam, didn't feel anything. So I ended up going for an ultrasound and eventually a CT scan. Turns out my uterus was just trying to kill me. Yeah, it was not expected in any way, not at all. No. But it turns out I had giant.
We'll stop there though. Your family, it's a family thing.
Well,
it just didn't happen to you so young, but it happened
right.
to you.
My mother, my grandmother, and my great grandmother had to have a hysterectomy, I think before they were late 30s, early 30s, all three of them. But I hadn't had any issues, so I had no idea what was happening, even though I went every year and did what I'm supposed to do. And yeah, so that has been a struggle. It still is a struggle, even though I've already had the surgery, 4 months past the surgery, and
which is crazy.
Still have pain, still swollen, feel like a linebacker. But it's, I was scared for a while because I did have to see a oncologist, gynecologist. There were some things that they were concerned could be cancer, and I've already had that, so I don't want that.
What that visit? Remember that woman came out? We never really, I don't know if we ever talked about that very much, but it was an oncologist. This woman came out of the office crying her eyes out. I don't know what she was told, but it chilled me to the bone. I'll never forget it as a human being watching another human being. And again, I'm inserting something really bad because it just seemed like it was bad, but it was so hard to watch.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole time we're sitting there waiting for me to be seen to find out that because I have to see this specialist. I can't just have the standard robotic laparoscopic hysterectomy because they were concerned about it being cancer.
Yeah. It was an incredible experience. That entire experience with your appointments and people like moving them, not knowing who your surgeon was, like you were told you had a surgeon. But I had to get involved, and I got pretty irritated with
he did.
a couple of doctors, not the doctors themselves, but people answering the phones. They're just, it's Florida. There's 8 million people per square foot here. So everywhere you go, you just feel like you're in this like you're at Space Mountain or something. Even in healthcare, I personally went through this myself. Never mind what we went through with you. I had a doctor see you and then lead the practice the exact same day that you did. That was like mind blowing to me. That was even.
It was crazy. I met with. After seeing 2 general physicians, and then they referred me to a gynecologist. And then that gynecologist, I went in and she was like, oh, yeah, you have, fibroids the size of baseball, softball, and a couple golf balls in there. And that's why you're so cold all the time, that they're just taking over your circulatory system. But we'll go in and we'll do the surgery. You'll be good in like 6 weeks at the most. It's fine. Yeah. And she left the practice that day. But no one from that practice called me to tell me. So I'm waiting for a phone call.
They were supposed to give you
and tell you when I'm scheduled and everything. Yeah. And I never hear anything.
I'm going to call you.
Literally. No one called me back. And what I do for a living, I'm on the phones a lot. So I had to give Mike, I'm like, can you please take this over and get me? Well, he finally escalated things to the point to where whoever runs the office was she left. She's not even here anymore. It's like, was somebody going to call her and tell her that the doctor's not here? And who does she see now? And now we're waiting. And so healthcare down here has been a treat.
It's just a bottleneck. It's like traffic. There's just too many people, not enough people to help. It's like landscaping here or, anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that's not thriving here is like the housing market, which is just crazy. So yeah, it was quite the experience going through that with you. And then finally we got your surgery, and that was a lot leading up to that preparation for you.
The things I was told to expect wasn't everything that happened. Just I only took a week off of work because I just thought that's all I was going to need. And that's what everyone kept telling me, that, yeah, you'll be fine. And
Yep.
you talk for a living, you sit pretty much, so you'll be fine in a week. Nope, nowhere near that. Nowhere near that.
A month into it, and you weren't even, I mean, you're not even close, which
No.
so all these mixed messages with how you were gonna feel, and it's just like anything, you don't even know what you're gonna go through until you actually go through it. So
lots
that was
of complications, lots of doctor's appointment visits after the fact. Yeah, it's been quite the journey.
That was the beginning of 25 for us. So that was literally like 3 weeks into 25. Wow. It's a lot. And then, hey, you have insurance, but then, you get bills after insurance with like commas on them, like it's incredible to me to watch that whole thing play out, that you pay for this insurance. And, try not to make anything too political, but there will be political things on this show because there's no way we can avoid to say what our opinions are about things. And it's kind of like the reason we do this. And we have pretty strong opinions about that stuff because we're literally living it, watching bills come in the mail after you've been paying for your insurance the entire time you work. And then you get this crazy surgery that they don't set you up correctly for in terms of.
And it's outpatient, which is why.
Well, that's the other thing. To finish that story, that was, hey, get out of here. By the way, we just took a baby almost outside in front of you, and then they sit her down, they tell her to take a nap. I was like, oh, this is cool,
Yeah, Mike's thinking I get to chill there for a
giving her
little.
teens and ginger ale, and 20 minutes later, they kicked her out. They literally told me to go get the car, like I was getting out of a gig. Go get your car. You can,
Load the drums.
And I was like, wait, what? You just told her she could go to sleep.
Yeah.
So they were just like, get out of here, you deadbeat. And then to top it all off, you don't even get good meds. Like, you can't see that, but she had 5 holes in her, like literally these purple welts where they went inside and took this whole thing out. And then they gave her Tylenol and ibuprofen. So just imagine how hard those weeks were.
I can't say anything with it because
it was crazy. I'll never forget it.
It was quite the experience.
Forget it.
And I'm still experiencing it. And then my very last visit with the doctor, they were like, yeah, actually it can take up to a full year to recover. I'm like, what? You guys didn't tell me that. I did not know that.
Quite an adjustment.
And all the complications afterwards, and
so many things, so much logistically, a lot trying to figure out how you're going to get paid because you can't work, and like trying to figure out all that stuff. So it's America, this version of America where we are right now.
Yeah. I do want to say, though, something really awesome did happen to us, even though we've been gone. We got engaged.
Oh, yes. How could we forget that? See, it's not all, I know it sounds negative. I'm sorry. It's not all negative. It's been amazing. I'm very proud.
Yes. And it's beautiful. And I'm proud to have you too. It hasn't been all crazy, but it has a lot of crazy.
It's just been, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on or whatever. You just have to pay attention and take a look. And the last few years have been really hard in this country in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So we felt that personally on our personal side. I work in the financial world, financial industry. And if you're paying attention, it's a roller coaster ride of pretty epic proportions. And that was already affecting us. And then you just add all this stuff in. Then I lost someone, a beautiful creature, my beautiful Gigi. He died in the end of March, 31st of March. It's crazy. I never saw that coming.
No.
That was a very, very hard thing for me. He was with me almost 18 years. Still have a little bit of a hard time talking about it, to be honest.
Absolutely. Pets are family.
He's everything to me. So he was, people and pets are the same in my world. I loved him immensely. So it taught me a lot of things about like loss and grief. And I hadn't really experienced that maybe ever.
Which I found that so interesting. I mean, it's never easy. But the fact that you have come this far, and you were younger when you lost grandparents. And
I was 12.
Yeah. And I remember all of them. I've actually had a lot of loss in my life.
I know you have, and I think that's actually more common. I lost my best friend when I was 28. He was like 34. A lot of you out there remember Larry Cottis. We played music together. He died of brain cancer, and I lost him. I was young. That was a weird, really hard thing, but this was different. It was truly like losing a family member.
And you are like me, but like sometimes, my dogs know more than anybody. They know more than any person does because,
Yes.
you talk to them. I talk to them. I talk to my dogs. They have middle names. So
Yes, they do.
sometimes your pets know more than the people in your life do.
Yeah.
You confide things in them and they're so close to you and they are always happy to see you. And just
You have a language, it's not a language. It's like resonant energy almost. And
yeah.
Gigi was like that for me. I had a rough time back in the early 2000s when he was born, and he saw me through some really hard times in my life. So I'll never forget him. As long as I live, he'll be with me, So, but that, that started the year for us. So now we're into, the current administration and everything that's going on in this world. And so we're going to tackle a lot of these things because like we said last year when we started this, we do this every day. This is the way we start our day. We just sit, we have coffee. We're lucky enough to spend our mornings with each other, and we do this. We talk about a lot of different things.
We do.
Very similar pasts. So
we thought we would share it, and so we made this podcast, and then life stepped in, and we haven't been doing it like we want to. So it's important.
We still film ourselves doing it.
That we do talk every day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We definitely do that. But we hope you will stick around and
we're going to talk about current everything.
Like, where's he going with this?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about right now.
There's so much material.
The current administration, whether you're pro or against, there is a lot to talk about there. A lot of moves being made, a lot of real world ramifications that are either happening right now or about to. So we're going to talk a lot about that. It won't always be about that, of course. We talk about other stuff, childhood trauma, stuff. Shows we're watching, current events, my drums right over there. You can't see them, but they're there. Go ahead. Look at them.
Chances are good you'll see one of our dogs in here most of the time. So
it's Beck's over there.
She's sleeping right now.
She's under the drum.
But she's here.
Always here.
Wherever we are, there she is.
How are you guys doing too? Maybe we need to do more of this, is just, let people know they can reach out to us.
Yeah.
If you ever want to be a guest or you want to hang out with us or send us some interesting event you think we might want to wax poetic on.
Oh boy.
We can always do that too. So we just want to say hello to you, reintroduce ourselves. Yes. Shannon, Mike.
No, but close enough.
Yeah. Hang out with us some more next time. I don't know what we'll do, but I think let's just be full disclosure. We've already filmed this like 3 times. We did it because we started off with this mega setup and we realized it was such a pain in the balls. So we went back down to this old school camera setup. So
yes, we got a little fancy and we even filmed.
It looked really cool.
Like
too.
3 different ones. And yeah, so anyhow.
One of the cameras looked like it was like a Next telephone compared to the other ones. Oh. We're going to do one on, I know we're going to do one on where to get your news from.
Yes, we are.
A little preview. We're talking about that, just we're not going to get into it now, but the idea of where do you get it from? How do you trust it?
Right. The way news has changed, all of that, how you get your news. We're doing fast food art too.
Yes, the art one was cool. We filmed it, but we'll have to redo it.
We really liked it. We just couldn't share it.
Yeah, just the way art is now, whether it's books or music or movies or TV, go over some of our favorite shows, what you guys may be watching, or we call it fast food art only because it's kind of the way art has become in our world, with music and videos and stuff. So we're going to have those 2 coming at you soon, but we just wanted to say hello to you.
Yes, and just send us an email or a text or comment on we're on Spotify. We have Podbean, you.should.listen.ms@gmail.com.
you.should.listen.ms@gmail.com.
Lots of dots.
Say it again. It was the only one available. Okay? Don't judge.
Thanks for watching.
See you soon.